What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt Scott. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece reaction video. Today we will be reacting to a new, at least to me, new content creator, Tainted Marth. I think that's how you say this content creator's name. I don't know, but it will be in the description box, the link to this video. So if y'all enjoy the video, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to him, right? And the name of this video is One Piece Theory Laffitte or Laffitte. Let me say that for everybody start correcting me on that. Laffitte is Hattori, Blackbeard's spy. So yeah, before we get into the theory, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the video. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and engage with me in real time. Also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. If you want to get at me and join the Discord, it's going to be the best place to get at me. You can also send me content to react to, like the video we are about to react to, and you could potentially be part of a future discussion stream. I do invite everybody in the Discord, so long as you know, it's a come first, come serve type thing. So long as you volunteer early, you can be part of a discussion stream. All of these will be in the description box, as well as the link to this video, so y'all could go show the creator some love. Now, again, this is from Tainted Marth. I think that's how you say their name. One Piece Theory, Laffitte is Hattori, Blackbeard's spy. Now, this isn't the first time that I heard this theory, but this is the first time you guys will see me react to this theory. But I had discussions where we talked about it, and I kind of gave my opinion on what I think of the actual theory itself. But this will be my first time hearing it as fleshed out, so maybe my mind can be changed, but I think I might have heard some of the talking points of this theory. And I will say off rip, I want y'all to know my stance on what I think about Laffitte being Hattori. I don't know if I believe that. It makes sense in some ways, but it just... I think that it would be hard for Laffitte to be with Blackbeard as often as he might be, and be with Rob Lucci. To me, it's just hard to imagine like how he splits the time between Blackbeard and Rob Lucci, unless he's just never with Blackbeard, right? Like him being a spy in that case, it could make sense, right? Because it's like, you're undercover, so you have to dedicate long periods of time. But we do see him with Blackbeard a lot of times. Like, a lot of times when we see Blackbeard, Laffitte is with Blackbeard. And when he's with Blackbeard, does Rob Lucci not, like, ask questions? Like, where's my bird at? Like, where's my bird? Why has he been gone all day? He's usually always with me. Why? Like, would that not, like, conjure up some suspicion for Rob Lucci of where Hattori is? What is he up to? Because like back in his lobby, we seen Hattori with Rob Lucci the whole time, pretty much. Like every time we see Rob Lucci, Hattori is with him. So it seems like Hattori is always with Rob Lucci, like always with him. But then when we see Blackbeard, Laffitte is with him a lot of the time. Not all the time, but, because, again, we don't see Blackbeard all the time. And there was a few times where we seen Blackbeard by himself, like in Jaya, when he met Luffy. It was just Blackbeard. It was just Blackbeard by himself. So at that point, yeah, Hattori could have been, or Laffitte could have been undercover as Hattori. But what about when Hattori went to infiltrate Mary Joa, right? And he wasn't with Rob Lucci at that time. Did Rob Lucci not like take notice of that? Like, hey, where's my bird? To me, that's kind of my biggest gripe, or my biggest pushback. It's just the splitting of time with two different people. without one of them knowing, like the one that's being, I guess, tricked, I guess. And what would Blackbeard have to gain with Laffitte going undercover with Rob Lucci? I mean, I guess you could say Rob Lucci is an intelligence officer, right? So he could gain intel. So yes, that makes sense. But why not do that to a different intelligence officer, right? Like somebody who was with CP0 while Rob Lucci was with CP9. You know, like Guernica or something. Why not do that with Guernica? You know, try to go undercover with Guernica, because Guernica, you know, Guernica seems like he might have been with CP0 when Rob Lucci was with CP9, right? And Guernica has access to like Mary Joa. You know, like he's probably had access to Mary Joa way longer than Rob Lucci has. So I think Guernica might actually be someone, he might actually make more sense to, I guess, spy on than somebody like Rob Lucci. You know, and Rob Lucci doesn't seem like he talks much, so I don't really know what. I mean, again, you know, he would gain something. But I guess you could also argue that maybe Blackbeard wasn't aware of CP0 at that point. I guess you could argue that. So he wouldn't have been able to get the Guernica, because he wouldn't have known about Guernica. So I guess that is an argument. I don't know. I'm like very mixed on this theory. You know, at least from what I've heard of it. You know, like I've had conversations and discussions about this theory as well, and I think I might have explained my point better on those conversations. But let's get into the video. I don't want to waste too much time. I want to get into it because, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this. Let's go.
Do you think it's possible for a bird to be a mass murderer? If your answer to this is no, then let me convince you otherwise.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt I think a bird could be a mass murderer, but let's go. Hey, I mean, think of it like this. Like, if y'all ever learn about crows, man, crows are some scary animals, bro. Crows are some scary, like, they could remember, like, they could hold grudges from what I heard. A crow, they could hold grudges, and, bro, like, I think they form bonds with wolves. So, I personally think that, like, crows could adopt wolves. I don't know if y'all knew that, but I don't know if it's a crow or a raven. Either one. They can adopt a wolf and have like a relationship to where, like, when the wolf hunts, like the crows help wolves look for food, and then when the wolf hunt and kill the food, the crow, you know, scavenges, right? What if crows are training wolves to kill humans? You know what I'm saying? And take over the world. That'd be scary right there. That'd be scary. But yeah, I don't know why we talking about crows, but I thought it was funny that he said a bird could be a mass murderer. And my first thought is a crow.
Okay, guys, you will never believe what I have uncovered. Today,
Yo, hold on, I gotta play that back. That moment where Usopp did that, yo, that's an all-time classic. That is an all-time classic. I remember that moment too. It looked like he was about to stick that landing too.
okay, guys, you will never believe what I have.
Yo, I remember thinking that Usopp was gonna stick that landing, and he just completely failed. Just completely failed. Oh my goodness.
Today I'm gonna prove to you why Laffitte is more important than you think. Yes, Laffitte. You guys might think, what kind of theory
Laffitte
possibly pull out of his ass that is so cool,
Bone Laffitte,
especially considering the fact that it's about Laffitte. But I beg your pardon, kind viewer, this theory is gonna make your brain melt. Okay, Where to begin?
So I think it's
When was
M4th.
the first time we saw Laffitte? I think it was
The
chapter
feet.
234, which title is Please Remember. By the way, very interesting title. Let's see why we want to remember something later on. The warlords and some higher marine authorities are meeting up at Marie Joas to talk
That
about
man
the
Daffy.
replacement for Sir
That man
Crocodile.
Daffy had too much sauce walking in. Like that man Daffy had way too much sauce pulling up, bruh. Well, I think that was a Marine Ford. He had way too much sauce pulling up the Marine
Why we
Ford,
want
bruh.
to remember something later on. The
Like, look at my
warlords and
man's
some higher
sauce, bro.
marine
Like,
authorities
he got way too much sauce. Too much sauce. Let me stop. That was just funny.
are meeting up at Marie Joas to talk about the replacement for Sir Crocodile, who, as we know, got manhandled by our boy Luffy. And right after Doofy, Kuma, and Mihawk enter the room, suddenly, a silhouette. A guy with a top hat sitting in the window asking to take part in the discussion. Furthermore, he actually already has someone in mind for the empty spot. Tsuru actually knows the guy and refers to him as Laffitte.
I mean, I will say this, though. I will say this just to give the theory a little legs, right? Just to give the theory some props. For Laffitte to be able to go to Marineford, like I would to know where to go, right? I would think he would probably have he would be familiar with it, right? I would think he would have to be familiar with it. So to get there undetected and everything, he would have to be familiar with it. And we know that Hattori, he's part of CP9. He's a government. You know, he works. He's the pet of a government agent who I think I would say that Rob Lucci probably has accessed Marineford even before becoming part of CP0. Like back when he was CP9, I would think that Rob Lucci has been to Marineford before. So that would also mean Hattori has been to Marineford before and probably knows the layout a lot better, right? Like he probably knows the layout well. So that would explain how Hattori or Laffitte got to where the warlords were having that meeting without like alerting anybody. You know what I'm saying? Without nobody noticing. Like if he turned into a bird and then just went straight there, like because he knows the layout and he could hide being a bird. So in a way, that's pretty good evidence. I will say that.
He was notorious for his brutality and was subsequently banished. Well, that's all cool and stuff, but what I actually wondered about was, how the heck did this guy enter Marie Joas in the first place? Like seriously, he climbed up the wall without being seen, entered the area with all the guards and celestial dragons around, not to mention all the marines, and jumped into the window? Come on, man.
Doesn't Laffitte have wings though? Wasn't he like shown with actual wings? Or maybe, unless it was like I feel as though I've seen him in like a cover spread with wings or something, but or maybe in a chapter. I feel like I've seen him with wings before. It could maybe unless it was like fan made. I think I've seen him with wings. So I mean, he could have flew up Mary Joa, right?
It's pretty much impossible. Maybe he did the Sabo and dressed up as a soldier or something like that. Possible, but maybe we don't have to think too much, because as we learn in a later chapter, the feet can fly. Chapter 5.
Okay, so I'm not tripping.
Lots of stuff is going on.
I'm not tripping.
This arc is action-packed, and amidst all the chaos, suddenly the Blackbeard pirates appear, and among them...
Exactly. That's the page, that's the chapter I was thinking of. I remember him having them wings, and I'm like, bro, like, that's how he got up the red line. It was with them wings, because he could fly.
Feet, with big white wings unfolded, hovering in the air. This could of course explain how he got up to Marie Joas, right? But still, something is off. I mean, a big guy with a top hat and huge white wings? Surely it's easy to see something like that in the sky. He would catch everyone's attention in an instant. Unless he flies up.
Point. That is a good point. You know, he would have been noticed. Unless he's flying way higher than... But then that's like that air is probably so thin up there, it would probably be tough to do that. You know, because you're already like so high up. Now you got to fly even higher than Mary Joa just to not be detected. The air is probably like the air already in Mary Jo is probably already thin, right? So the further up you go, the thinner it gets. And if in order for him to not be detected, he's gonna have to fly even higher. So I don't know how that's gonna affect him as far as like his breathing and everything. Like that'd probably be tough to fly in. You know, it'd probably be tough just to fly at Mary Joa. But you know, but they also One Piece characters, so they're not like normal humans. So that's probably not that big of a problem for characters like these.
Up in the middle of the night, but that would make it hard for himself to navigate, so yeah, it's an option, but clearly not the best. Let's go a few chapters back now. Chapter 434. The Straws have just wrecked Annie's lobby and got a great new addition with Rocky! While we see the Blackbeard pirates reading about their actions in the newspaper. Laffitte comments the events as following. Annie's lobby? It's famous for the sea train from Water 7. Now, how did he know that? Well, he says it's famous, so maybe. Yeah, maybe it's just really famous and pretty much everyone knows about the sea train. But when our crew encountered it the first time, not a single one of them ever heard about it. So maybe it's not so famous after all, unless they have been there or in the region already. But what if Laffitte actually is there? In parts? What the f is this guy talking about? Well,
I was not gonna lie, I was confused right there. I'm glad he was aware that we were probably confused as well, because I was definitely confused. I was definitely confused.
let me cook. It will become clear towards the end.
We're gonna let him cook. Let him cook.
Chapter 575 and 576. The Blackbeard pirates suddenly be on the battlefield of Marineford. Sengoku is asking them how they got there, and Laffitte answering him that he hypnotized the guards and ordered them to let any warship that went near the gates of justice through, which actually helped Luffy and his followers as well. Alright, he can hypnotize. So maybe he's Django's brother or something. You never know.
They do look like when I look at Laffitte, I do see Django. And that was even before you even mentioned that. Like I thought that before. I was like, you know, they kind of got, you know, they kind of look similar. They both have that. They're both able to hypnotize people. You know, I'm curious if there is a connection though between Django and Laffitte.
But we let that information sit on the side for a while. Chapter 595. Pizarro proposed to replace Teach as the leader, to which Laffitte answers, "Want me to kill you? Don't forget we are the Blackbeard pirates." I'm pretty sure he didn't say that jokingly. He would have killed Pizarro if he really meant what he said, but I guess he did let it slide.
I mean, Laffitte looked like he would be the weakest member of the Blackbeard pirates, but I would not be shocked if he was like top 2, like not counting Blackbeard. If he was like top 2, top 1, I low key think Shiro was probably the second strongest. I think it's Blackbeard, Shiro, Jesus Burgess, and then maybe Laffitte. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's like Blackbeard, Shiro, and then Laffitte. You know what I'm saying? Because it would actually kind of make more sense if Sanji fought. Because I think it would make sense if Sanji fought like Jesus Burgess, right? But if he fought Laffitte, that might actually make sense as well. Because Laffitte could fly, and Sanji's really like the only person in the crew that can fly. So it'd be like an aerial battle, right? Like that's kind of why I wanted Sanji to fight King during Wano. Because I'd be like, King could fly, Sanji skywalks. Right, you got two aerial combatants right there, right? And Zoro, to me, Zoro didn't make sense because King's way too mobile for somebody like Zoro, but Sanji would make sense because Sanji could keep up, like mobility wise, he could keep up with Sanji or with King, right? Where Queen and Zoro, I mean, they're both more grounded, right? So But it, we seen what happened. We seen what happened. King's ability to fly didn't really stop Zoro from winning, even though Zoro did have trouble, but Laffitte and Sanji, or we could get something along the line of Zoro Shiru, because I think Zoro and Shiru, to me that's happening. To me that's happening. I think Zoro Shiru, that's gonna be a fight. Shiru seems like more of a swordsman, right? He seems like an actual swordsman. So at that fight right there, it just seems almost set in stone. I could be wrong, but to me, until I'm proven wrong, it's set in stone, in my opinion, right? In my mind, it's set in stone. But it could be like Jinbei, Jesus Burgess, and then Zoro or Sanji, Laffitte in the aerial type battle. Book it, Oda. Book it.
But why am I pointing this out? Surely not just to bring up each and every single one of Laffitte's appearances in the manga. No, it's something else. 2 times now, we heard that he's a cold-hearted killer, once from Zoro and 1 time more or less from himself. He has no problem killing people, no matter who they are, for the sake of a bigger goal. Or does he simply enjoy killing people? Who else comes to mind?
I wouldn't be shocked. Laffitte looked like he's somebody who's psychotic, right? Like Laffitte looks psychotic as hell. He kind of remind me of Joker a little bit, like one of them Joker type characters that just enjoys chaos for the sake of chaos, and that's why he follows somebody like Blackbeard, because he enjoys chaos and Blackbeard enjoys chaos and wants to bring chaos. It's like Laffitte follows. Nah, that wouldn't be that one. I was gonna say like Zoro follows Luffy, but like I don't really know who to compare it to, right? I don't really know who to compare it to, but I think Laffitte wants chaos, but he believes that Blackbeard is the only person that could really bring chaos into the world, so that's why he follows Blackbeard. Personally, that's what I think, because Laffitte looks like he's a psycho. And anybody who's willing to go to Mary Joa by themselves with a bunch of some of the strongest characters in the series in one room that could probably kill him, but he just goes there like nothing and just, hey guys, like that guy has to have like a screw loose a bit. You got to have a bit of craziness to him. I don't even think Blackbeard would have done that. I don't even think Blackbeard would have risked his own life to go to Mary Joa. Blackbeard might be a bit crazy, but I don't even think he would have risked his own, because we've seen Blackbeard, if he doesn't think he has a chance, he'd be like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to even involve myself in that. Laffitte look like he's like, bruh, I'm down for it. I'm down to die. I'm down to die.
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind right now. Chapter 803. We see Laffitte talking via snail to Burgess. He mentions that they went to Dressrosa to pick Burgess up but could not find him. He answers them that he snuck into the bilge of a ship and found the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army. That's not important though, at least not for this video. But what is important is Laffitte, who's being introduced to us in this chapter as Demon Sheriff Laffitte, Emperor of the Sea, Blackbeard Pirates' 5th ship captain. And not only that, he's got a little addition to his usual outfit, a cape with feathered collar.
He said he went to Dressrosa to pick up Jesus Burgess. We know that Rob Lucci, like that was pretty much the same arc at the end of Dressrosa, that we learned that Rob Lucci was CP0. And of course, who was with him? Hattori, right? But I don't know if that's really supporting evidence. If more so, I think it might be contradicting evidence. Because he said we went to Dressrosa. Now we know Rob Lucci was in Dressrosa, and of course Hattori is tagging along with Rob Lucci. But if he was with Rob Lucci, and like it wouldn't have made sense like that they went for Jesus Burgess because he was undercover at that point, and Rob Lucci wasn't going to pick up Jesus Burgess unless Rob Lucci is working with Blackbeard, but I don't think that's the case. But the way he said we, it sounded like he went with other Blackbeard pirates. So that would have mean he had to have gone as his normal self and as Hattori. Like he would have had to go on 2 occasions. And it wouldn't have really made sense though. Like if he was if Hattori if Laffitte says something along the line as I was at Dressrosa, okay. I could use that as actual supporting evidence. But how he says we went for you, we went to get you, right? Like if he was with Rob Lucci, he wouldn't have been able to pick up Jesus Burgess because he would have been, because doing so would have probably blown his cover. And he also said we, as in like a few of us, like more than one of them went to Dressrosa to pick up Jesus Burgess. So to me, that kind of contradicts, you know. Like, do y'all get what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm really like explaining that right and why it doesn't support like that idea that, you know, because I think that's where he's going. Like Laffitte was at, undercover as Hattori, but his statement just sounds more of a contradiction to the theory than as supporting evidence.
This pretty much sums up all the things we know about Laffitte. But now, let's get to the interesting part. Laffitte is Hattori. Certain that the cute little pigeon that always comes with a sleek top hat and necktie is in truth Laffitte. We first see Hattori in chapter 323, sitting on Lucci's shoulder. Next time in chapter 327, actually talking to Paul.
I wish, like with his video editing, I wish he would let some of like the cause he kind of like makes like he like throws in little jokes that were the like some of the images in the video kind of coincide with his jokes, but it's just like it's just like a flash. Like he doesn't let him sit long enough to really you get to really take in the joke. You know what I mean? I wish he would kind of like slow down with some of the cuts, just to let some of the images that coincide with his jokes sit. You know what I mean? Cause it was like something where he said something about Hattori standing on Lucci's shoulder, but I didn't even really get a good look of the image. So I wish he would let the you gotta let it sit a little bit. You know what I mean? Let us sit with it so he could
on Lucci's shoulder.
Like that one right there. It was like 2 seconds.
327. Actually talking to Polly, reminding him to not pay back debts with other people's money. And now it's getting interesting. Paulie's getting mad at Lucci for smacking him with a hammer and calling him out for his bad manners and greed. Actually, it's Hattori saying this, but as we find out later, it's supposed
Luffy
to be
threw that boogie on Chopper.
Now, Luffy in his usual baffled way is stating that the pigeon is talking. And after Lucci and Paulie fought for a bit, Luffy is stating again that Paulie is wrong for being mad at Lucci because the one who made fun of him was not Lucci but the pigeon. Paulie answers that he doesn't care about it and that Lucci hit him, to which Luffy answers, the pigeon can't hit you, so he made the guy do it. He made the guy do it. Yes. And how do you make someone do something?
Hypnosis.
Yes. Either by asking nicely, paying money, or putting a gun against his head, or with hypnosis. Well, now, it's getting
So are we saying Hattori controls Lucci at times? Is that where we're going with this? Hattori controlling Lucci? I mean, we do know Laffitte has hypnosis abilities, so he can control people. And if he is Hattori, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that he could, in a sense, maybe to a degree, control Rob Lucci. But that just made me think, like, is Rob Lucci, is his will not that strong where he's susceptible? I guess it's not, because he is already controlled by the Gorosei. So as strong as Rob Lucci is, it wouldn't be a stretch to say he's kind of weak willed, because he's already a servant, right? He's already kind of a bit of a slave. Like I kind of look at CP agents as at least CP0 agents, maybe not CP9 agents, but they're servants of the world government, and they're at their disposal. Like they pretty much don't have wills of their own. They take orders and they do whatever they're told. So that could lead somebody like Rob Lucci to be susceptible to somebody like Laffitte.
Ridiculous, Marv. You cannot be serious. But wait, there is more. Chapter 0. In Chapter 0, we see Rob Lucci training as a kid to become stronger than Justice, and now on his head is sitting Hattori. Yes, the same pigeon. A pigeon. Rob Lucci is supposed to be 30 years old after the time skip, according to One Piece Wiki. How on earth is Hattori still alive? I mean, he could not possibly be the same pigeon, right? Unless... birds. Birds. Birds everywhere. You remember this guy?
What if Rob Lucci had a different pigeon and Laffitte seen it as an opportunity? He killed the other pigeon and then he take over. But, dang, like Hattori, like it's hard to imagine that you would be spying for that long, right? You would spy and choose this young boy, right? Like you would spy, you would go undercover, choose this young man and not get attached to him at all. Maybe, I'm sure they're attached, but if he, like, you can't be attached to your I don't want to say victim, but the guy you're manipulating, right? But I don't know. It don't really make sense to me. Like I'm trying to put it together, but like, did he see the potential in Rob Lucci that long ago? Like he knew that this young kid was going to become a successful CP9 agent. Like what if he would have died as a kid and then you just chose a bad victim? You dedicated all this time to choose a kid that might not even be successful. He might die before he could be successful. Like if it would make sense if he came, like if Laffitte came a little later, right? If he came a little later when Rob Lucci was already showing himself to be successful and being a prodigy. But as a kid, you don't know how he's going to do. You don't even know if he's going to make it. But Rob Lucci was always considered as a kid, so maybe he kind of felt that Rob Lucci had a high probability. It was more of a gamble. It could have been a gamble, maybe. Maybe it was just a gamble. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
He said there are only 5 devil fruits that give you the power to fly. I'm pretty sure that we can say now that he was not informed right when it comes to that. Or he's a plain liar. But yes, devil fruits that make you fly. Let's be more specific. Devil fruits that enable you to become a bird. The new school.
I wonder if Kuma's devil fruit is included in that, because technically, Kuma could just, air Kuma, right? Like he can't fly in the traditional sense where he could just suspend in the air and just chill there. Like he has to like repel himself forward, right? But that it's kind of like a plane. Like a plane can't just hang in the air. A plane got to keep moving forward, right? Where like a helicopter could actually just stay there and just levitate for a while. But a plane still does fly, right? Kuma's more like a plane where these bird devil fruits are more like helicopters, where they could suspend in air without having to move forward, And then there's other devil fruits such as that you could also consider give you the ability to flight, like the ton fruit, I think. Like like Mac Vice, and the other one that's kind of like the ton fruit. I think it's the kilo fruit. And then you got fruits like the one who's the guy in the Doflamingo Pirates, the one who I think he goes on operations with Baby Five, and he's kind of like a helicopter. He kind of acts like like his he has a thing where it like spins around. And then another devil fruit that gives you the ability to fly. That's Who's Who, or no, Sasaki. Sasaki's devil fruit, the Triceratops one. He uses that little thing that Triceratops have to use as like a helicopter. That's 3 right there that aren't bird devil fruits. You know, and I didn't even mention King. I didn't mention Pell. I didn't mention whatever devil fruit Laffitte has. You could probably add the gum fruit or the Hito no Mi, because Gear 4, Luffy could technically fly right there. You know what I mean? But they're doing it more in a roundabout way, right? They do it in more of a roundabout way. Marco, that's 4 that belong to the birds, you know. Yeah. And then you got 3 that's kind of more of a unorthodox type of flying. Yeah, so that's at least more than 5 right there. Robin's wings as well. Robin's wings. Like, Robin's ability gives her the ability to fly. So, yeah, just a few right there.
Wondered how Big News Morgans commands like thousands or more of these
Big News Morgans. Because that is a devil fruit. But then again, hold on. I don't think it would count for Big News Morgans because he's like a flightless bird. You know, because I think he's like an ostrich maybe. And I don't think ostriches are like flightless birds. So I guess he wouldn't count. But I don't know. Could Big News Morgan fly if he wanted to?
What if part of his devil fruit is actually that he can create them to deliver his newspaper? But Marv, that is bullshit. There's no other devil fruit in One Piece similar to this which could be used as a reference. Or is there? Karasu. Yes, Karasu. The guy who literally can turn his body into a murder of crows. If that guy
forgot about Karasu.
What stops?
I forgot about Karasu, but I thought he just controlled the birds and they flew, and he flew on them. But I think he can actually turn to like a crow as well. I'm not sure if he turns it. Yeah, I think he does turn to a crow. Like, I don't know if he turns into it and or he just controls them and they fly him around.
Morgans from doing the same or similar things. There is another guy who ate the bird fruit and literally separated it into many pieces. But in the end, he came back together.
Now that one just lingered a little too long. Like, I would have done that for some of the other jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Jokes aside, you see what I'm getting at, right? Is it possible that Laffitte ate the Tori no Mi model pigeon? Is it possible that he literally turned into a pigeon and flew up to Marijoas to propose Blackbeard as a warlord? Is it possible that he searched for a promising trainee at the CP program already as a teenager to extract important information from the world government? I say yes. Hear me out. Laffitte from the West Blue, known for being a mean mother and a cold-hearted killer, ate the Tori no Mi model pigeon. When Lucci as a kid was in training to become an agent, surely Laffitte himself wasn't much older, but at least 11 years older. If the ages that we know from the One Piece wikis are true. But considering that, he might have caught on the use of his food very early on and decided to either explore the world or perchance had an encounter with some agents or overheard something. Curious as he was, followed them and decided to stay close so that he could gather great intel. What if Lucci wasn't as cold-hearted as they always say? What if he's got hypnotized by his pet pigeon that stick to him from someday for some reason?
I kind of like that. I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, like this idea that it's not necessarily Rob Lucci who's the cold-hearted one. It's Hattori / Laffitte controlling Rob Lucci to be cold-hearted. Like maybe this whole time Rob Lucci's been a good kid, but Hattori's been, you know, manipulating him. I kind of like that idea. I do kind of like that. It's a very interesting way to go because it kind of makes Lucci redeemable, and I feel as though this arc is kind of. I feel as though this arc is hinting at the possibility of Rob Lucci becoming redeemable and possibly even being an ally, like a more long-standing ally to Luffy. I know a lot of people don't like that idea. They like them being enemies, but come on, bro. We know how Luffy operates. Luffy turns his enemies into his friends, and you know, a lot of his enemies are just as cold-hearted as Rob Lucci. So I don't believe that Rob or I don't believe that Rob Lucci is opposed to that. Or I don't think he not opposed, but I don't think he's like exempt from that.
What if this pigeon brainwashed him into being a cold-hearted killer machine? Yes. You never wondered why Lucci is like that? Someone who literally loves killing and bringing dark justice more than anything else? What kind of weirdo hobby is that? So, either Lucci hit his head real bad as a kid, or he got influenced by someone to be like that. But why? Why would Laffitte do that? Who knows? Maybe he has a big backstory and we are gonna learn about it in the future. Maybe he was a god well.
It like my question is like, okay, because I could think of an idea of maybe like did was Blackbeard and like how long have Blackbeard and Laffitte been working with each other? Like were they working with each other before Laffitte went to like pretty much be around Rob Lucci? Like were they working with each other that long? Like has Blackbeard been making moves since Rob Lucci has been a child, and he's been using Laffitte since Lucci has been a child? You know? Or was it something along the line where Laffitte he didn't really have nothing else going on, so he wanted to be around, like Laffitte being a crazy murderous bastard, he wanted to hang around other crazy murderous bastards, right? So he figured what better people to hang around than like some stone cold killers in CP9, right? So maybe he hung around Rob Lucci just because it was like something to do. And then maybe sometime he met Blackbeard and he respected Blackbeard, or he got to know Blackbeard and became like respected, and he told Blackbeard about being the pet of a CP9 agent, and then Blackbeard seen it as an opportunity and was like, you know what, I could probably use you for like espionage type stuff, you know. So it's just a lot of variables to think about with this whole theory. It's a lot of variables to consider.
When the unspeakable happened. I'm going to tinfoil even more. What if he also influenced the young Blackbeard? What if he, while exploring restricted areas in bird form, found a laboratory and in it several test subjects? One ogre guy with horns, a Lunarian, sleep at all. Maybe he decided that this weird kid is.
I like where you're going. I like where you're going. You know what I'm getting? You know what kind of vibes I'm getting now with this theory? You know what this theory, what kind of vibes this theory is giving me? For everybody who's watched Naruto, right? Naruto Shippuden, right? It's giving me Zetsu vibes. Where Laffitte is like Zetsu and Blackbeard is like Madara, right? And then you got a third person, Kagura, right? You got Kagura. Who would be the Kagura, right? Who would be the one who Zetsu works for to manipulate Madara. Like this whole time we think Madara is this mastermind, but this whole time he's really just been getting manipulated by Zetsu, who works for Kagura and trying to get bring Kagura back, right? Who could be that character, that Kagura character? I got an answer for that because there is a character I believe that Blackbeard is trying to bring back this whole time, and that is the great Roxy Zebek. So, just to throw out this idea, could Laffitte be working for Zebek, manipulating Blackbeard? Maybe Blackbeard is a clone, like a failed clone, or maybe a clone of Zebek. And maybe Laffitte is manipulating Blackbeard to bring back Zebek. Or maybe he's not even manipulating him. Maybe he told him flat out and said, you know what? I want you to know that you're this clone of Zebek and you carry his soul or whatever. Because I that kind of plays into the idea that Blackbeard has multiple souls, the multiple soul theory. Maybe Laffitte knew that, and he's like, look, you carry that. We need to bring Roxy Zebek back. You know, or maybe he flat out maybe he talks to Zebek through Blackbeard. You know what? I'm actually kind of changing my mind about this theory, honestly. I'm actually kind of changing my mind about this theory. Because in that whole Naruto thing, the whole Zetsu, Madara, or Madara and Kagura thing, it's giving me that vibes. And I'm actually liking it. And I think this could actually be done even better than that, because I think Kagura was more of an ass-pull character, whereas Zebek is already established. He's already established in the series, so it would actually make sense. And I already theorized before that Blackbeard could be a Zebek clone, or Zebek's soul could be within Blackbeard. Because I've said I think Blackbeard's goal is to bring back Zebek. And this actually adds a whole new layer to my theory about Blackbeard wanting to bring back Zebek. You know, that's part of the reason why he wanted Boa. I think he wanted the Boa's devil fruit. So because I think Zebek's body might be petrified, right? And then I think he needs somebody like Gecko Moria to remove the soul or the shadow out of himself and put it into the corpse of Zebek. So yeah, I think Moria and Boa are like the two devil fruits that Blackbeard needs to bring back Zebek. And Laffitte could be kind of the puppeteer or the mastermind behind this whole idea to bring Zebek back. So I'm actually kind of becoming a believer in this Laffitte Hattori theory. You know, because it's actually playing into my theory when it comes to Zebek and Blackbeard. I'm not mad at it.
It's a perfect vessel to execute his plans. Just like Booger Boy, who made our little Doofy big. Where is Hattori now? This part contains spoiler from chapter 1062 to 1078. Lucci is arriving together with Hattori.
Y'all heard the man.
Island. I'm gonna make this short here. Hattori is with Lucci until he gets taken down by Stussy in 1073. After this, he vanished. Where did he disappear to? Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm certain that he is Laffitte and left to inform Blackbeard about what is going on Egghead. Why am I assuming that? Well, I have not seen Laffitte and Blackbeard's in Lost fight, so he must be somewhere else. Yeah, sure, we haven't seen a lot of Blackbeard's new crew members in this fight, but the original ones are all there, all but Laffitte. That's kind of strange to me. Now let's assume.
When was the last time we seen Laffitte? I don't remember. But I think he said it, but I don't remember. But I mean, based on the recent chapter, we know Blackbeard is at Egghead Island. So him saying that Laffitte went to go get Blackbeard or went to go inform Blackbeard of everything going on. It's not a stretch. Initially I thought he was gonna say Laffitte is the one who's going around manipulating people. But also think of this though, because we know York is the traitor, right? We know York is the traitor. What if Laffitte brainwashed York? You know, what if Laffitte brainwashed York just to cause a little chaos when the time was right? You know, brainwash York to, call the world government and have them get involved in everything. And then when there was chaos and everything, and he knew that they was going to eventually send CP0, so they was pretty much going to send Rob Lucci to Egghead Island. He knew that was going to give him the end to know when to contact Blackbeard. Man, this is a whole can of worms we just opened.
I'm right, and Laffitte is Hattori. This could explain quite a few things. Being with Lucci as a pigeon, he surely gets all the high-class intel, such as Marines deploying for Amazon Lily. Who appeared there right in time? Blackbeard. Big Mom heading out after Luffy to Wano and leaving Whole Cake more or less unguarded by taking...
The question is, was Laffitte with Blackbeard while Blackbeard was fighting Law? Like, was he there? Like, I know Augur was there. I know Shiru was there. I know Doc Q was there. Doc Q and Stronger. Yeah, I know Blackbeard was there. I don't think Laffitte was there. Yeah, I don't think Laffitte was there.
Taking a huge chunk of the crew with her, intel that the world government had, and Blackbeard somehow. Also, how do you think that Blackbeard could take Kuzan to join his crew? How could he possibly know where he went to after the battle with Akainu? Enough of this. Things that we know for sure. Hard facts. Laffitte wears a top hat and cape with feathered collar. Hattori wears a top hat and a cape with a feathered collar. Laffitte can fly. Hattori can fly. Laffitte can hypnotize. Hattori can, if we believe what Luffy assumes, and hey, let's be honest, our boy is very lucky most of the times. Hattori can hypnotize. Laffitte is a cold-hearted killer. Lucci is a cold-hearted killer.
Couldn't say Hattori.
Their food, they can split you into several birds. Yes, one for sure. What if they are even related?
Oh, I don't even think he caught that. I don't even think I caught that point. Like the possibility that Laffitte, like I guess because he says what's his name, Karasu, he could like split into multiple birds. Maybe Laffitte could do that as well, right? And if Laffitte can do that, that will explain how Laffitte could be in multiple places. Like it would explain how he could split his time between Blackbeard and Lucci without like Rob Lucci questioning things. But I guess another answer you could say of why Rob Lucci would not question when Laffitte is going, like, or when Hattori is going, like, why he doesn't question, oh, where you been, right? If Hattori is capable of manipulating Rob Lucci, then it wouldn't even matter. Like Rob Lucci wouldn't even ask because he's already being manipulated. So he probably wouldn't even ask, honestly. You know, because he wouldn't even be in a state where he could ask because he's not fully in control of himself. So, you know, like if Rob Lucci was to ask, Laffitte would just gain control of his mind and have him not even ask that question.
Laffitte exploiting his younger brother. You don't believe me? Is this not enough to convince you? No? Well, let's pull out my paint skills.
I mean, I'm not. It ain't like a stretch, I guess. Guess it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to say.
I can only guess what Laffitte's grand plan might be, but remember me when it turns out to be true.
He works for Emu. Is that what he said? That Laffitte works for Emu? I think he has some more at the end of it. So I want to watch these post-credit things. So it took me a whole day making this Big W to Hidden and all the other OP tubers who actually make so many of these videos in way, way better quality. I know sometimes I sound like my nose is stuffed, but there is nothing I can do about it. Also, I am not a native English speaker, but I hope you were still able to understand. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you. Hey, shout out to him. I'm not mad at the theory. He actually somewhat converted me. Like a lot of his arguments, I'm gonna make sure I like the video. Y'all make sure y'all go like the video. I'm gonna subscribe to him as well. I'm gonna give him a subscription. Help him out, you know, show him some love. Cause that actually, bro, like that actually, a lot of stuff he said, it actually can coincide with my theory on Blackbeard trying to resurrect rocks. Now, at the end, I think he said Laffitte works for, I think he was implying that Laffitte works for Eam, unless he was joking saying like he works for Eam. But I think he was trying to say Laffitte works for Eam. I would argue that Laffitte could work for Xebec, you know, because Xebec sounded like he was a very mad man, somewhat pushing on psychopathy, like similar to Blackbeard. I would say that Blackbeard and Xebec might have, like, we don't know much about Xebec, but I would speculate that Blackbeard and Xebec have similar personalities. Matter of fact, I personally think Xebec his soul is within Blackbeard. So I think a lot of Blackbeard's personality comes from who Xebec was, right? And that might be why, that could be why Laffitte follows Blackbeard, because he knows the real nature of Blackbeard and his connection with Xebec. And maybe Laffitte either, I would say maybe he worked for Xebec, or maybe he admired Xebec, you know, because if we're saying like Laffitte is crazy and we know that Xebec has some wild ambitions, maybe it made him admire this man because he wanted to live in the world that Xebec could have created. And now Blackbeard is carrying on Xebec's will, right? Maybe he's not carrying Xebec's will. Maybe he's carrying Xebec's soul, right? So it's actually Xebec himself doing a lot of this through Blackbeard, right? So maybe that's why Laffitte follows Xebec, you know? So, you know, maybe he's been with Lucci a lot longer than he's followed Blackbeard, but upon learning who Blackbeard is, he was like, you know what? You know, I'm manipulating this kid who's going to be this stone cold killer and going to be great at it, right? He got so much potential. So I could continue to stick with him to feed you information so we can, you know, so you can succeed at your plan. So that could be the case. Like, listening to this theory make me think that maybe Hattori is manipulating Blackbeard as well into, or maybe he's not. Maybe their goals just coincide. Like they both want to bring Xebec back, so he doesn't have a need to have to follow him. But like that conversation when Pizarro was like, "Hey, maybe I should take over the crew," right? And he was like, "Oh man, I'll kill you if you do that," right? Maybe it's like if you do that, you're going to mess up the whole plan. You're going to mess up the whole plan that I've been working on. Like, you're going to mess up my plan. It's not even just about you wanting to kill Blackbeard, because if Blackbeard was some other guy, I wouldn't even care if you did that. You know, I'll probably do it with you, right? Maybe I'll even participate in the betrayal. But no, Blackbeard is an important piece for me to accomplish my ambition. You know what I mean? Because I'm either manipulating Blackbeard or we both have the same ambition. You know, so I came into this theory not really liking it that much, but I'm kind of a believer now. And I think I might actually like this theory a lot more than I initially thought, you know, especially considering some of the other things, you know, because if you were just telling me that he was just following Lucci just to gain intel for Blackbeard for whatever reason, to me, that's not a strong enough thing. But some of the other points he had in conjunction with some of the other stuff, I kind of believe in when we talk about Blackbeard's connection with Zebek and understanding, you know, Laffitte's personality a little more, it kind of make me think this could actually feed into my theory, right? In some way. So yeah, I like the video. I like the theory. You know, y'all go show this guy some support. Y'all go show Tainted Maforth. I don't know if it's M4th, Marth, Maforth or what. But y'all go like that. Y'all go like his video and y'all go support him, especially if y'all liked it. Y'all enjoyed it. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got for this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below y'all thoughts on the video, the reaction. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I miss? You know, let me know. Do you think Laffitte is Hattori? Right? Let me know what you think about anything I said as well. Also, make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. If you want to get at me directly, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. That's going to be the best place to get at me, right? Because that's where I'm the most active. And if you want to send me content like the video we watched today, I got a channel in the Discord designated for you guys to send me content. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, you must be a member of the Discord. You know, you must be in order to jump on the discussion into the voice chat and everything. So yeah, make sure you are part of the Discord. All of these will be in the description box below, as well as the link to this video we watched. So y'all go show the content creators some love. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a good day. Peace.